Welcome back to Moby Dick. This is chapter 32, Cetology. Included in the blog post with this recording are two websites for reference. One is our friend Power Moby Dick, which will provide lots of annotations and definitions and explanations for what our narrator is referring to in this chapter. The other link is to a scholarly website or a study aid of sorts called Shmoop. It's awesome. Take a look at it. It's helpful, it's funny, it's very informative. It's also going to walk you through the apparent action and activity of this chapter much better than I can. So with those disclaimers and those guideposts, shall we say, let's talk about why this might be here. First of all, it's a really funny chapter. Embrace the absurdity, okay? It's full of contradictions, no logical sense whatsoever. I truly think that the person who's writing it is either stoned out of his mind, drunk off his ass, or both. Of course, he could be psychotic. They aren't exclusive here. Regardless, whatever the narrator is, it's really funny. He's full of misinformation and grandiose notions, and he's clearly making it up as he goes along. He also is not Ishmael. I do not know who the narrator of this chapter is, but it is not Ishmael. It may be the same sub-librarian who drew out the extracts for us. Maybe. Probably. But it's not Ishmael. Which, of course, brings forward the questions of what is his relationship to Ishmael? Why does he have Ishmael's story? Who is this guy? Why change the narrators in the middle of the story in the first place? Why would we do this? We've already seen that Ishmael himself keeps coming towards the action and then backing away from it. We know we're chasing a monster. We know we're on some big hunt to try to, get revenge on some big demon. Okay, maybe. But maybe not. We've also seen Ishmael himself use humor when he's talking about rather serious subjects, when he's criticizing the religious civilization he comes from. He criticizes pop psychology and etiquette and presumptions of knowledge and class. And the more inflammatory his statements are, the more careful he is to make the scenes themselves very, very funny. Cetology is a beautiful example of this. The narrator is trying very hard to describe in scientific precision, which he could not be farther from, what the whale is and the different kinds of whales that we hunt. He is, of course, massively wrong about all of this. Now, in addition to being very entertaining, there are two subtexts I think that we should probably put in our back pocket and hang on to until they can make more sense later. One is, we're either meant to understand how universal this is, meaning we can have more than one narrator and still get the same story. We can have more than one whale and still get the same story. Or we're meant to notice how impossible it is to truly pin down what it is that we are hunting. We've seen Ishmael talk about trying to find truth, trying to find what it is to really be alive, and he's looking for it on the ocean. He is chasing that down and getting away from his school, if that is exactly where he was before leaving. Is it that truth itself is actually impossible to know? Is it that freedom is impossible to have? And we ourselves, in trying to hunt down this novel and trying to get through it, are in an exercise of futility. And we can either take that very, very seriously, or we can brush it up with all kind of romantic notions, or we can just laugh at it. Because it is funny. I don't really know. You've heard me say this a lot by now. I don't know where we're going with this kind of information in the middle of our text. Once again, we've broken away from the action. We've now got a different narrator, and we seem to be just spinning around. But no author goes to this much work for no reason. So let's take a note of it. The next chapter, we've got passages on the make and manufacture of various whaling ships, which I think will probably serve the same function as Cetology here. And we'll see why there could be so much misdirection. Hang in there.